Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back, students. So we are on online lecture number 9 of the mobile application development course. Today we are going to study input controls in details. So this is the outline of today's lecture. Today we are going to show a keyboard for entering an email address, and we are going to show a numeric keypad for entering phone numbers, and then we are going to allow multiple line text entry with automatic sentence capitalization. And then after that we are going to add radio buttons for selecting an option. We are also going to set an on click listener handler for the radio buttons, and if we have time we are going to add a spinner for a phone number field for selecting one value from set of values. So with that, um, um, let us first see what input controls are. So to enable the users to enter text or numbers, you use edit text element. So whenever you want a user to enter some number or text, you use edit text elements. Some input controls are edit text attributes that defines the type of keyboard that appears to make entering data easier for users. For example, you might choose fonts for Android input type attribute to show numeric keypad instead of alphanumeric keypad. Other input controls make it easy for user to make choices. For example, radio button elements enable a user to select one and only one item from a set of items. So with that, let us see how our activity will look like after we complete coding it and designing it. So we have a name input and name, edit text input, and then address. So these are text field. These are the edit field where you can enter some data. So you can enter name, you can enter the address, the phone number. So if the address appears, so you will see alphanumeric keyboard, soft keyboard. But if a phone number appears, then you will see a numeric input keyboard. And then we have a note, edit text, and then for choosing one item out of multiple item, we use a radio group, and inside this radio group we have a radio button. So if you click on some radio button, you will see that a toast message appear on the screen. So with that, here is an example of the numeric soft keyboard. When you want to enter a phone number, so this keyboard will appear. So we can control the appearance of keyboard by using the input type option. Yeah, so we are going to see it later on when we develop these controls, these edit text input fields. And then if you are entering some data, in this multi-line edit text, you will see alphanumeric keyboard on at the below of your phone. And then we have another input controls called the radio buttons, which allows you to select one option out of multiple options. So with that overview, let us go straight to our app and let us see what we have developed so far. So we have the main activity, the order activity, and then the corresponding layouts, the main activity, the order activity, and then the content main. So let me see what we have done in the previous lecture. So we created this Droid Desert app. We have some option. If you click on the images, you will see a toast message. You order a donut. You ordered an ice cream sandwich, and then we have you ordered a froyo. So when you click on this floating action shopping button, another activity appears, and this activity is in fact the activity underscore order activity. And we are going to see how to create this type of input controls and this type of interface in this order activity. So with that, I am going to go to Android Studio. First we are going to design this, and then we are going to add functionality to activity underscore order. So here you have it, the design. Let me go to the split option. So we are using constrained layout. Remember that constrained layout uses different types of rules to place your views on the screen. So the first one is the order text, which is at the top of the screen. So I'm going to go to the design, and here I'm going to click this text view and place it over here. So I'm going to constrain it to the left and to the right. It will take time, but I would recommend you people to show some patience. And then I'm going to increase its size, so you can see the text is text view, but I'm going to change it to something else. So it is order. So I'm going to make it order, and then of course we are having some, I want to increase the size, so the size should be 18 sp, and then yeah, I'm going to set the order ID. So the ID for this control is order underscore text view. So you can see the underlying code. So it says that the suggestion says that it is better to extract this in the string file. So I'm going to extract it, and let me say it's order. The name of the string is order label underscore text. Click OK, and everything looks fine. So the next thing is to add um, label, um, a, a text view called name. So I'm going to go to the design, and then I'm going to add a text view over here, and then I'm going to constrain it to the left, to the right, and also with this order text view, and this will be name, and the size will be the size of the text. It's your option, but I think I'm going to go for, I think 14 sp is okay. Alright, so I constrained it. The next thing is to add some more um, text view like address, phone, and note. So I'm going to add them in similar fashion. So this one is for the address. So I'm going to constrain it to the left, to the top, and then bring it here, and this will be the address. The text will be address because here the user will insert the address. And then we can add other text views such as the font text view. Constrain it to the left, to the right, constrain it to this control because it will show unusual behavior if you do not constrain it with the top view. And this is a phone, and Then we have one other text view, and that will be a node text view. And make sure to constrain it to the left, to the right, to the bottom of text view 4. Align it properly, and this is nothing but a node text view. So a name text view has an ID of name underscore label. Refactor it. Similarly, the address has an ID of address underscore text. Refactor it, and also make sure that the font text view has the proper label, the proper ID. So it is font underscore label. Refactor will replace all these IDs wherever they are used, so you do not have to replace them like manually in your code. So the last one is note label. Refactor it. So okay, that's fine. So after adding these text views, we are going to add the edit text. So the first one is for the name. So I'm going to yeah, so I'm going to search here for the edit text, multi-line text, font, password, plain text. Yeah, I think plain text is okay. So click it and place it here. I think I should remove it because I want search the edit text. Okay, we are going to use this plain text. Make sure to constrain it to the left label, constrain it to the right, and now I'm going to give it an ID. So the ID is name underscore text. Yeah, it is looking fine. And the hint will be okay. The hint will be enter your name. Yeah. So let me split it and let us see what's happening at the background. Okay. So what is the error? I'm going to look for this error later on. But I'm going to here extract this string and give it an ID of enter name hint. Enter underscore name underscore hint. next is name. For the moment I'm just going to remove it. Okay, so why is this giving us an error? Let me see. Label. Okay, because I'm going to also specify the input type. Input, yeah, input type is already here, so it's text person name. That's okay. Constraint to the end of. I think we should constrain it to the base of. So I'm going to select it, remove it, and then we can. Yeah, this one looks fine. And I'm doing it for the alignment purpose. Okay, I'm going to set it using the code. So now it is not showing that error. Constraint bottom to bottom of name label. Yeah, and the other constraint is to the end of. It should be, I think, name label. So yeah, add ID, name label. Now what happened? So I think I have, it is layout constraint. Yeah, it is not the end, but it is start. Yeah, now it looks fine. Yeah, so we have enter your name. Everything is going fine. Okay, we still have a lot of time. So the next would be the address field. Okay, so constrain it to the bottom, also to the right. And to the start. And once again, I'm going to change its ID. It is in fact address text. Address underscore text is its ID. Okay, say it already exists. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, it's in fact address label here. Address underscore label, refactor, and this one is address underscore text. Okay, cancel. So it says that you cannot use this hyphen symbol. Refactor. So once again I'm going to make sure that everything looks fine at the code. So to the start of, we can add some other attributes like Android EMS. Okay, we already have that EMS attribute, so no worry. Okay, so with that, mm, the input type is in fact not text person name. It is in fact multi text multi-line. So how can we change it? You can, like, yeah, we have selected it, and then we can here type it input type. So input type is, yeah, input type is text multi-line. So text underscore, what's happening here? Yeah, it is text multi-line. Selected and apply, and there you have it. So you have added another, um, yeah, I think the text is address, or the hint is address. So I'm going to change it to, the hint is enter address. So you can see that there is a lot of lots of things that you can do. And then for the font, I'm going to add another plain text. Constrain it to the bottom, or to start of font label to the right, and this is the hint is font. And what else? Yeah, the ID, and the ID is, let me see, font text, font underscore text, refactor. Yeah, everything is okay. And what should be the input type? So I'm going to say input type. So the input type is in fact font. So you can select font here, apply it, and there you have it. And then the last one is, the last edit text is for the note, and this has multiple input type attributes. So I'm going to show it to you now. So first remove this name, and the hint will be, no, I think I should add plain text here first. Constrain it to the bottom of this node. To the start, also constrain it at the right. And what is the hint? The hint is enter node. So you can enter any node. And remove this text. Yeah, it's looking fine. And the ID is node text. Refactor. And the last thing is input type. So here we have two attributes in input type. The first one is text multi-line. So select it, apply it. And the second one is cap sentence, this one, select it, apply it. So you can apply multiple attributes. So if you go to this, so you can see text short message, text multiple line, and I think I should remove the last one which says text person name. So we can remove them. So we can remove it, and that's looking fine. So we still have some time. We can add other attributes such as the radio group. So for adding the radio group, let me go once again to my interface, and here I'm going to say a radio group, select it and place it over here. It's invisible, but we are going to constrain it to the bottom of the note label, constrain it. I think should undo it. I'm just going to constrain it to this note, to the bottom, and then we can come. I'm not going to add any other constraint. Let's go to the code, and yeah, I'm going to select the radio group. In fact, this is invisible. Yeah, there we have it. So we have a radio group, but inside this radio group we can remove it, and so this radio group has some attributes. The width is in fact wrap content, so is the height, and then we have margin left, margin start. So I'm going to add these attributes, margin start 24 dp, then we have margin left 24 dp, and then orientation will be vertical. So if you put these radio buttons, so they will be placed vertically. And then I'm going to add some constraint. The first one is constraint start off here. We can add parent, yeah, and to the bottom of delivery label. So we can say bottom of the note. Text. Yeah, this looks fine. So after that, we are, I think, in a position to add radio buttons. So the first radio button has an ID of, yeah, the width of wrap content, the height of wrap content. Give it some ID. The ID is same day delivery. And then we have on click attribute. So whenever the user click on this radio button on, click method will be called. And what is the text? The text is we can say that the text is same day messenger service. I'm going to extract it. Yeah, this looks fine. I think this method is not created, so let us create it to get rid of this error. Now you can see that the error has been removed, and we can close it. And now I can copy this radio button, Control C, Control V, and then we have for the second radio button ID of next day and then the string is next day ground delivery. So the string is next day ground delivery, and then we can add another radio button, the third one. We have 3 radio buttons. This one has an ID of pickup and the text of pickup. So I'm going to extract this string and put it in the string file. Extract string resource, okay, and also for the pickup, extract string resource, okay, and I think we are done with adding this interface. We are also running out of time, so I'm going to stop here. Inshallah, in the next lecture we are going to add functionality to this interface. I'll see you in the next class. Allah Hafiz.